I started this video not being real sure of what I was going to say. But let me just say that we are in the age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, back in the 60s, there was a song that came out saying, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. You're very powerful and fortunate person to live in this time in life, because in this time in life you can shape the whole future of the earth. What's happening in the age of Aquarius is all the things that were hidden, all the things that we didn't know was there, is popping to the surface. The reason we didn't know it is because we had our head buried under the sand. We had the Crusades where Christians and Muslims was killing each other for no particular reason. We had Leopold go over to Africa and kill millions of people. We've had the slave trade under which millions of people got killed. This country was settled on the bones and the death of 50 million Indians. Back in the days of the Roman empires, the Romans had a wife to bear their children, and then they had a young boy to have sex with and for pleasure. We like to think that we're not any of these things. When you look at us today, what is as American as apple pie? The Boy Scouts. When you take a closer look at the Boy Scouts, look what's happening there. The people that are attracted to lead the Boy Scouts are people that want to have sex with boys. You look at the Catholic Church. The people that are willing to give up their marriage and sex to be in the Catholic Church is because they want to have sex with them children in the church. And it's not the bad apple that's doing it. It's a whole bunch of them that was doing it. It's not the bad apple that's a policeman. I've known 2 serial killers. One of them has been executed, and another one, I don't know if he's still alive or dead. He was pretty old the last time I saw him. But he got drunk one time and he was talking to me. He had only killed 1 person at that time. And he was talking to me about the sexual charge he got out of killing that person. And then when he killed that person, he called the police on himself. He packed his toothpaste on a sandwich, ready to go to jail. He refused any attorney. He pleaded guilty to what they were charging him with, and he wound up getting 8 years in jail. He found his wife in the bed with another man and he killed her. But he told me what a sexual feeling that went through his body when that happened and how wonderful it felt. And I've noticed that he went through life trying to set himself up so people would take advantage of him, and he would have an excuse to kill them and be able to stand before the judge, and the judge let him off. On his job, he was voted the most valuable employee, given tickets for a trip to Hawaii and hotels and stuff. And he said, no, take that money and buy microwaves for the guys here on the job and put one in each lunchroom. He did things like that. If you needed something fixed on your car, he would fix it for nothing. If you needed some work done around your house, he would do it for nothing. And so if he killed somebody else, he would have 1,000 witnesses to say he's the best guy in the world. But there's a lot going on in this world. We have our heads buried in the sand, and these are things that's been going on for thousands of years. Pedophiles is not new. Sacrificing children is not new. Having rituals where they drink blood of humans is not new. The only thing that's new, even all this racism and policemen killing people, and I don't know, they might be getting the same joy out of it as the guy that I talked to. Now, dogs, male dogs, when there's a female dog in heat, he'll jump over a 10-foot fence to get to that female. And apparently, we have same animal urges that's pulling on a lot of humans in our society, on this globe, in this world. Don't feel ashamed if it's pulling on you, because apparently it's pulling on most people, one or another. Now, we allow abortions. I'm against abortions, but I believe in freedom of choice. And I think people should choose not to have abortions. But I'm against murder of any kind, and I'm against murder of the police murdering innocent citizens. I'm against war. Like when you say all lives matter, and we go to war against Iraq, who's done absolutely nothing to them, and bombed thousands of people. And at that time, when Bush went to war, if a person tried to get on an airplane, had a T-shirt on that called for peace, they wouldn't even let her on the airplane. So you can't just blame Bush. You got to blame the American people. We buried our heads in the sand. We buried our heads in the sand when it came to Vietnam, and killed all those people over there that we shouldn't have killed. And we were claiming all kinds of things would happen if we didn't win the war in Vietnam. We didn't win the war, and none of those things happened, so we killed them for nothing. And so we used to have a department called the Department of War. And at one point, we decided that we don't want to be known as a country that just go into war. And we changed the name to Department of Defense, so we can just use those tools when we needed to defend ourselves. Now, like I said, when we went into Iraq, Iraq hadn't done anything to us. We meddled in, we killed Patrice Lumumba, and his country went to hell after that. We meddled in every country on this earth, and we think it's okay. We've screwed this earth up. This earth is screwed up. Now we have a choice, and the choice is we can continue in the direction that we've been going in, or we can acknowledge the age of Aquarius and turn everything around. You're not going to turn anything around unless you acknowledge that you're doing it. Some people do things and then they have a feeling of guilt afterwards. Guilt is just a punishment of yourself that will justify what you did, because you've been punished for it now because you've had guilt. And so now you're okay. But you can sit here and feel guilty for the next 20 minutes about anything, and it don't change anything. The only way that you can change is acknowledge who you are, acknowledge what you're doing. When they put the knee on George Floyd's neck and you saw the video, you had to look at it, you had to see it, you had to know what was going on, and so you couldn't bury your head in the sand on that one. And maybe now you have to realize that's what's been going on all the time. The only difference is now we have video cameras. And so now that you know what's been going on, look even deeper into what's been going on, and then make a difference and change this world. We have a president that saw videos of police roughing up black people, and he said they should be even rougher. And when he said that, the people that were racist started marching with rifles and wearing their hoods, and the Nazis all came out. They came out of the closet. When a lot of our homosexuality came out, now you have pedophiles coming out of the closet claiming that the relationship between them and a child should be considered the same as the relationship between adult and two consenting adults, no matter what their sex is. You know, a woman was sentenced to 5 years in jail because she voted, a black woman, and she didn't realize that a felon couldn't vote. A man was sentenced to 90 days of house arrest for raping a child. Now, why do you think those sentences are different? Somebody that made the decision on how much to sentence a man decided that raping a child wasn't as bad as a lot of people think, and so therefore the punishment shouldn't be that bad. You can look on a whole bunch of computers and probably find pictures of child pornography. I've heard people speak out against pedophiles, and at least one of them, I know for by my own knowledge, this person was a pedophile. And I stopped this person from doing it one time. But the whole thing is that we're not acknowledging who we are. We're not acknowledging what we are. In order to change this world, if you want it to be a utopia, if you want it to be a Garden of Eden, if you want it to be a heaven, first we have to acknowledge who we are and what we're doing and know what we need to work on and start from this point forward and work on getting it done. Now, as far as racism and the police brutality and those type of things, the only ones that can fix that really are the white people. The white people are in charge. But the white people for so long have been pretending like it wasn't happening. And they've been saying things like, well, that happened back in slavery a couple hundred years ago. I had nothing to do with it. But white people have been doing things to me all of my life, and this ain't slavery. And so you need to acknowledge what's been going on, and you need to open your eyes, and you need to do something about it. But that's all I have to say right now. I hope you listen to it, and I hope it makes a difference in how you function in life.